What's up, everyone? It's Russo. I hope everyone is doing well. Please follow my Instagram at Russo Lifts, just in case something happens to this YouTube channel. You can follow, message, and you can watch my daily story content on Instagram. I'll see you there. What's up, everyone? It's Russo. I hope everyone is doing well. Here's where I beg for you to subscribe with the notifications on, thumbs up or thumbs down the video, and leave some sort of either entertaining comment, a troll comment that actually makes me snark at myself and not like you have room temperature IQ, something like that, or just like interaction engagement on the video. But today I'm going to be going into another SARM, right? There's not that much data on this SARM. This is more personal experience as well as my theories around it. I did read through the one solid study, talking about S-23. So S-23, right, I'm going to have Dante throw up a bunch of linked videos that I hope you guys check out and watch, but I did a video called My Favorite SARM after playing around with them all, right? So in that video, I compared my favorite SARM for bodybuilding abuse purposes, right? Not for like biohacking longevity, just for bodybuilding abuse, right? LGD 3303, right? That was my favorite one, and my runner-up is S-23. So I'm going to go into S-23 today. Now, there's not very much data on it. It's really kind of like, basically, right, I've done a lot of elaborate SARM videos now, right? I'm redoing all my content, and I'm getting much more in detail, and I'm going into like clinically why these compounds are having money dumped into them to be progressed in research, right? And when you look at S-23, it's just too fucking strong, right? It's more for bodybuilding purposes, not so much for, what SARMs are intended to do. Like, I really get into the argument of like a SARM is intended to not grow the prostate that much. It's intended to bind with skeletal muscle and bone. It's intended to just basically be less, invasive as far as adding it in to HRT, TRT to improve longevity, bone density without interacting with the prostate and causing the dihydrotestosterone estrogenic issues of higher TRT rate. That's the goal. Now, this S-23, it causes about the same, if not more, side effects as regular steroids. That being said, I still find it highly interesting. So S-23, unlike S4, does not have any vision side effects associated with it at all. So if Dante throw up the S4 video, right, there's no binding with the AR in the eyes. There's no green tint. I think a lot of people think like anything with an S has vision side effects. Like, that's not how it works. That's literally only geared towards S4, right? S-23, no vision side effects whatsoever, so keep that into consideration. Now, when we look into the study, which I'll have Dante link the title of the study if you want to Google it, basically, it just shows how fucking insanely powerful it is. Like, the binding affinity is insane. The ability to suppress luteinizing hormone and follicle stimulating hormone is crazy. I think in the study, if I can remember off the top of my head, it's like 50% LH suppression at 0.1 milligram for the castrated rats. So bonkers level suppression. So if you're going to think you're going to get away with utilizing S-23 without some sort of estrogen base, testosterone base, right? A compound that is going to give you an estrogen conversion because the S-23 is going to suppress your natural testosterone to zero within 2-3 days, which is fine as far as the androgen is concerned, but you're relying on that natural testosterone for your estrogen conversion. So you're choking out your estrogen conversion if you do S-23 only, which will lead towards libido issues. It will lead to all the low estrogen symptoms. Estrogen is very critical when it comes to building muscle, mood, brain health. The list goes on and on. I like to keep my estrogen above the reference range slightly. for brain health purposes, and it doesn't really impact my mood. But with S-23, right, it's going to shut your natural testosterone off like a light switch. I think when I documented S-23, my sperm, right, spermogenesis gets nuked with S-23. Like my sperm was real thick when I first started S-23, I think a week and a half into the cycle, and I was shooting like water, right? So as far as a male contraceptive is concerned, right, S-23 was looked into, as well as RD-140 was looked into as well, as far as male birth control, because it's replacing the androgenic anabolic activity that you would get, and it's shutting down spermogenesis to a point where I wouldn't bank on you shooting blanks, right? I see a lot of you guys in the DMs like, I'm shut off. I know people who knocked up girls on trend. Like, it don't matter. There's always that one swimmer in there that prevails. So I wouldn't bank on it as birth control, but that is what you should expect suppression-wise from it. It's super suppressive. So moving forward, right, the binding affinity is so ridiculously high that if you stack it with a high amount of exogenous testosterone, right, so let's repeat the stupid mistake I did in my S-23 only cycle, and I documented this around 19, 20, 21 years old. And I'll have Dante throw up the video. It's called How I Ruined My Skin. Basically, this S-23 cycle is what fucked my skin up. So I didn't understand. Well, I understood the binding affinity thing. I didn't understand how ridiculous it was with S-23. No one played around with S-23, so I decided to combine 500 testosterone with 10 to 40 milligrams of S-23 a day. I was playing around. I was ramping up dosages, finding the sweet spot on both of that. But basically, the S-23 is going to bind with the androgen receptor, which is going to leave all this testosterone that I'm injecting floating around, which is going to cause massive amounts of estrogen and DHT conversion. And basically what happened is I got so much DHT conversion on the cycle that I had full body acne everywhere. Full body acne everywhere. And it took me 2 years to repair my skin, right? And I documented all the things I did to repair my skin, everything like that. But keep that in mind, right? If you're going to use testosterone with it, my personal opinion, 200 to 350 milligrams a week, and then modulate the S-23 up and down for the power. Don't modulate the testosterone. The testosterone is just there as the estrogen base. The testosterone is just there to maintain homeostasis because the half-life of S-23 is only 6 hours. So you want something catching you as far as keeping and maintaining a constant androgen level. So keep that in mind, right? Keep that in mind that I would not blast massive amounts of gear with S-23 just because it's like a race car. You know, your testosterone and your S-23 are racing to the androgen receptor. The S-23 is going to win 100% of the time. It's a full agonist to the AR. It's not a partial. So your testosterone is going to be converting to estrogen and DHT. And you obviously, well, you probably don't obviously know, but S-23 is going to crash your sex hormone binding globulin as well, which is going to render a lot of this free testosterone just floating around aimlessly, not even being transported around in the body. So you might as well use 200 to 350 and then modulate the S-23. Going into the look you get with S-23. So first off, I guess I'll go into the mental effects. First, the aggression is absolutely insane. Pre-workout aggression, pre-workout euphoria. Super strong, super androgenic, very much a pre-workout androgen that is intense as shit. So keep that in mind. As far as, you know, the look it yields, it makes you less fat than you actually are. Like, I remember when I was playing around with it, I was probably realistically around 14% body fat. And then when I went on the high dosage of S-23, I looked around 12%. Everyone thought I was super lean. Increases basal metabolic rate like crazy, so you do have to eat to keep up with it. If you do not eat to keep up with it, you will look smaller and flatter than you did off it because your metabolism is cranked through the roof. It is one of those ones that is very difficult to get the diet to match correctly to get the results out of it. So it's a dry, sucked in look. There's no water retention associated with it at all. The strength gains are bonkers. For powerlifting, this is definitely one on the table. Is it hair loss safe? So S4 is the king of you can keep your hair and blast the shit out of it and your hair won't fall out. S23, your hair is going to fall out like crazy. And some people say that the hair loss around S23 theoretically could be because of the central nervous stimulation causing a lot of cortisol, which is a theory. Do I know if it's correct or not? No. All I know is I had a lot of shedding with S23 and it's going to cause shedding. So you have to keep that into consideration. But overall, like everyone asks me, oh, like SARMs don't work for bodybuilding, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, well, have you tried high dosage S23 or high dosage LGD 4033 or high dosage LGD 3303? Because I have the most hardcore gear users in my Instagram DM box who are, 280 pounds with abs, and they will add these compounds into their crews and they will be blown away, right? These are not like Ostarine or S4. These are not mild compounds. These are super strong, super selective, and insane high binding affinities. These binding affinities are comparable to Trenbolone, okay? So this is one of those ones where more power, more side effects. This is one of those ones where it's like, it's not really the benefits of what SARMs are supposed to be. It's more like the same power as regular steroids with the same side effects. You're just not dealing with dihydrotestosterone conversion and you're not dealing with estrogen conversion because, as we know, S23 is not steroidal structured in nature. It does not convert to estrogen or DHT, so those side effects are off the table, and those ancillary issues and combatants, like you will not be having to add in aromatase inhibitors or anything unless, like I said, you're blasting the testosterone too high, you don't understand binding affinity hierarchy and that sort of thing. But if you keep that into consideration, it's lower risk. Did it raise my blood pressure? Yes. Was it absolutely insane comparable to when I blast D-ball? No. But I did notice my resting heart rate went up and my blood pressure was elevated. It wasn't insane. I didn't feel like shit when I was on it. Now, moving forward with my final thoughts and conclusions, insanely strong androgen, crazy look, definitely a wild card as far as, not enough people, in my opinion, have documented it, but overall, anywhere from 10 to 50 milligrams a day, and in my opinion, the sweet spot would be around 20 to 30 for most. I've seen people get crazy with S23, but remember, the crazier you get with the dosage, the more you have to eat to keep up. If you don't eat to keep up, you look flatter and shittier as you raise the dosage. People do not seem to understand that, but I'm just throwing that out there. Super suppressive, it's going to flatline luteinizing hormone. It's going to flatline follicle stimulating hormone. And you will need a solid SERM set of PCT, so clomiphene, N-clomiphene, Nolvadex, tormophene, a legitimate SERM, not I'm going to go on eBay and PCT, Tribulus, D-aspartic acid. No. Like with S23, you need a legitimate SERM setup. You preferably want some HCG on cycle to maintain testicular size and stop testicular atrophy, because I told you, my fucking sperm turned to straight up water, right? Straight up water. So keep that into consideration. S23 is one of those ones that has got that magic around it, in my opinion, as far as being one of the powerful SARMs that people seem to sleep on. That'd be S23 and 3303. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will see you guys in my next one.